All right, well, let's get started. Hello, and welcome everyone to our BG5 Live. I'm back, but still recovering. Today we are going to be taking a look at trait 46. Serendipity without expectation can turn into good fortune. Today is September 22nd, 2020. This is episode number 71. And before we jump in and get started, I'd like to say hello to our panel. So let's start with Leanne. Hey, Leanne, welcome.
Thank you. Fun day today. Serendipity. Yay.
Great. Thank you, Leanne. Great to have you here. And let's go to Natalie.
Yay. I'm really happy to be back as well. Missed last week, but I heard you had great fun.
Great. Well, welcome, Natalie. And let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So glad you could join us. We're already in a punchy mood, so this should go. We should just have lots of no expectations. It's all going to be good fortune. So,
all right. I like that. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Chris and Rob.
Hey, everybody. I have a shaky connection. I don't know if it's coming through on your end shaky.
Yep. It sounds a little shaky.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to log back in once I'm stable. I'll back.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, everyone who is here live in our Zoom room, everyone who is watching us live via Facebook, and everyone who is watching via the recording on YouTube. So once again, what we're going to be taking a look at today is serendipity without expectation can turn into good fortune. So, again, we are wrapping up our journey through duality. Can you believe it's already the end of September? So again, we're still taking a look at bonding, connecting with others. We started with deliverance, with the love of work, abstraction, right? Confusion as a source of inspiration. We took a look at realization, that aha, where it all makes sense. We took a look at friction last week, this creative potential and this source wave. And today we're going to take a look at determination. We're going to take a look at the 46. This is all about being at the right place at the right time. And then next week, to wrap up September, we'll take a look at correction in the 18. This is the instinct for perfection and correction. So let's take a look at this 46. So if we just take a look at what's going on and what's happening today, we can see that there's quite a bit of definition if we take a look at what the weather forecast is. And I'm going to turn it over to Leanne here real quick. And Leanne, would love to hear sort of your insight in taking a look at the weather report for today, what all of the energies are that are happening today that we can see in this chart.
So I would just say, watch what's bumping into you, third quality day. And what can we transform on the material plane and come to a place of good fortune and serendipity?
Yeah.
And be completely aware of that, use that creative process to step into that mutative energy that's here, totally supporting us, totally sharing with us. It's empowerment with us today. So take a look around at your good fortune. You're here, you have a computer, you have time, you have space to be here. So are you honoring your body today? Things like that, because that's what the program is asking us to support.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Leanne. All right, we can see that we are still in the 11 and 12 as far as the past and future direction here. And so let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at this 46. What is this 46 all about? It's about determination. And again, it's about being at the right place at the right time. So this is focused on the quality of life you experience. This is the physical body. This is the love of the body. This is one of the things, that I've been experiencing myself in healing, really, taking a look at that, really the healing capacity and the magic that's available in just really honoring your body. So again, it's the love of the physical body. It's your determination, and your determination is often rewarded with the experience of serendipity that leads to discovery. This is the being, again, at the right place at the right time. This is good fortune. And this is also succeeding where others fail. So on the other side, we have this determination, or this is part of determination that, again, that you're going to go through the experience so that you can get to the other side, and the lessons that are learned. So the lessons you learn and the wisdom that you share is derived from your absorption into the experience as you're living it without expectations. So again, it's giving up that expectations and just getting lost in the process, allowing the experience to unfold as it must. So not trying to push it, not trying to force it, just allowing that experience to happen. And remember, we always want to make sure that you're trusting your decision-making strategy to physically put you in the right place at the right time for the magic to happen. It's really fun in our first class. So I just started my classes today, or semester 3 of BG5 certification. And, there was a lot of talk of this, this magic of just being at the right place at the right time. Rob was talking about, the client showing up. When you're in the right place at the right time, following your decision-making strategy, things align. That's really where the magic happens. And that's part of what this trait 46, this determination, is all about. When we take a look at it in the context of a small group, this is also coordination. So it's this determination, it's the coordination, it's the, getting everybody together on the same page, doing the same thing. And again, it's almost in a sense creates, if you will, sort of that physical body of the penta as well. So this is a really amazing and fascinating trait. I would love to hear from our panel. Let's start with Chris. What are some things that you want to share, or some of the things that you see in taking a look at trait 46 of determination?
Yeah, so this one is, I have it defined in an undefined identity and direction. So this is a big one for me as far as really meeting the right people. And what I've noticed is that when I'm taking care of myself and I'm eating well, and I go to, well, it's been hard to go to yoga classes when there's no yoga classes happening. But in the past, what I've noticed is that I'll go to yoga classes and then I'll meet the right people. Like I've met clients who are total strangers, and then they become a client, or just and going to places where I feel good, where I feel like my body feels good, and my body relaxes in that experience, and I'm taking care of myself. When I'm eating well, when I'm getting enough sleep, all of those things, it's like magic. I mean, people show up, the opportunities or possibilities show up, clients show up. It's really fascinating how it works. Yeah. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, really great example. Thank you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
How about for you, Natalie?
Yeah, so I don't have it in my design, and I'm from the other side. I'm from the logic. So so no, this is about experience, and what I specifically emphasize, and what I think is one of the most important things of all of this energy of the experiential process, is to have no expectations. That is like literally throughout the whole circuitry, because with having expectations, you tie yourself and are not able to just experience the process, and it most likely will take you somewhere else. You most likely will learn something that you never have thought of beforehand, right? That is what this process is about. That is what life brings you. So having expectations, will eventually, as it is also an emotional process, bring you this crash of disappointment when it's not met, right? And I see Chris doing like this. So Chris not only has this trait, but you also have the format strength, right? The literal catalyzer of this energy.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I want to share something. Someone in my life has the 952 like you do, the more logical format. And I am a person who's like, I'm going to go do this thing. I'll go do this training, or I'll go travel, or whatever. And this person would say to me, well, I hope it was worth it. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Of course it was worth it. It's all worth it. Like, it's all about the experience, because I also am not emotionally attached. So I'm just like, I'm going to go see what happens. I'm going to see what I learn. No attachment. And I take the jewels and the nuggets, and then I leave the rest. And this person is logical and emotionally defined, is like, has a tendency to attach to did it mean something? Did it, what did you get? And I'm like, what do you mean? I just went for the experience, So I love that you remember, jogged that memory for me.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
How about for you, Leanne?
So I have the trait on the other side. I have 29. And my husband has the 46 6 times in his design.
What?
So,
Six?
Yeah. Serendipity and good fortune just falls into his lap, even though he thinks he really works for it. He really does not. And it's interesting because this is for the love of the body, and he loves his body, and yet he takes it for granted. And he is probably healthier than I am. And I eat smoothies and I do all the good stuff for my body. And, he doesn't do that. And his body, like, he just, I don't know. It's so amazing how his body just operates for him.
Wow.
Serendipitously, I guess.
I think it's the first time in all of my BG5 human design history that I've heard that somebody has a trait 6 times.
Yeah, I had a client actually yesterday who had the 18 6 different times in her design.
Wow.
Yeah, I looked at her design. I'm like, you're missing some stuff here. And then I went, oh, geez, there's one trait here 6 times. No wonder there's like, but
wow.
Yeah.
That's close to a fourth of their design.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And like I say, with his serendipity, like it just works for him. Like he doesn't even, there's just no thought process. There's nothing. He's just showing up in places because it of course is connected to identity and direction, which is a lot about environment. And he just shows up and like shit just falls in his lap. And I'm like, how did that happen? Like he's also an innovator, an ego innovator, but it just happens for him. And there's like zero effort, nothing. So.
Wow. And Robin is saying she has 46 5 times. Wow. I don't know if you're open to sharing, Robin. That would be fascinating to hear from you if you're open to that. Hey, Robin.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's pretty horrendous, actually.
Horrendous.
How so?
Well, it's a lot to absorb, and yes, you have the serendipity of being in the right place at the right time, but the frequency of the energy that comes through there is well, it's very, very sexual. And the meeting of different people is being a 5-1, the projection of that is quite quite intense at times. But there is no expectations, and it is truly a serendipitous gate of, even if it's really bad, it's still really good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The learning, right?
Right.
Well, that's it. You got nothing to do but just allow it to ride through. There truly is nothing to do but watch it, and the amount of wisdom that it gives you for staying stable in your identity, in your direction. I guess it's just a natural inbuilt thing.
Yeah.
I don't have the language for it, actually, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting with that particular trait. It is, in a sense, this sort of beyond language as well, right? Because it's really more about the physical body, the body intelligence, and it's, it's can be the feeling, the sensation, the what you see. It can be what you experience, but sometimes it's really hard to actually put the words to it.
That's right. And it is, well, I don't know, but I get it out there in the fabric. I get all this information from people. And yeah, it's a very, very strange one, but it's made me a lot of money. The OpenG, the 46.
Wow.
Just with all of the work that I do.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that,
Really
Robin. It's great to hear from you. Great to see you.
Yes, I'm back.
Yay.
Again, serendipity, brought back into the right place at the right time.
There we go. There we go. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so this is a really, and one of the things that really fascinates me about this trait as well, because you'll see as we move into the month of October, this actually kicks off all of the traits that are in the survival instinct. So if we take a look at this being the body, right? We move into the 18, and then, we can continue through, but basically what we're going to basically be traveling through, which we'll talk about next week, what we're going to be traveling through in October is really understanding the survival instinct. That's where it really shows up. And so in a sense, represents the body, if you will, of a small group, and it kicks off, in a sense, that feel good of that health and well-being of the survival instinct. So like I said, it's really a fascinating trait in that way as well. And it's one of the traits, I mean, just like anything in our design, there's a quality of really being able to surrender to what it is. Right. And we could hear that from Robin too. There's a deep surrender that's here in the 46. It's really surrendering to the experience. It's surrendering, to the serendipity, or not. Right. And it's getting absorbed in the experience, as we talked about, without the expectations. Very cool. Do you want to go? Yeah. So let's take a look and focus in on quality 3. And when we take a look at quality 3, remember quality 3 is always the pioneer, right? It's the trial and error. And if we take a look at quality 3, you'll notice that the keynote here is projection. So if we take a look at the elevation, this is the determination to stay with what brings success. This is a practical approach to good fortune that maintains the same patterns and attitudes that brought success and does not get sidetracked by indulging in further expectations. Right? So when we take a look at quality 3, quality 3 is the most material of all of the different qualities. So it really is this sort of practical approach to good fortune. If we take a look at the challenge on the other side, it's the determination to treat projected success as reality. So a tendency through projection, so here's where the projection comes in, a tendency through projection to treat a potential future as the present, leading to unjustified egoism and the loss of momentum and support. So in a sense, the challenge is not staying with what brings success, but it's kind of taking a look, into the future, right? This is actually taking a look at the past, but it's pretending like, what that projected success as if it's reality. It's the fake it till you make it, but it's the tendency to treat it, as a potential, as the present, but that can lead to, again, unjustified egoism and a loss of momentum and support, because it's not yet there.
It's kind of phrasing the expectation, actually, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say more about that, Natalie.
Well, so what we saw, like this trait and this circuitry is really about entering into a cycle, entering into an experience without expectations. And if you have a tendency to treat the potential future as the present, you're actually kind of projecting on what you expect it to be and pulling it to the present, and then it doesn't work out that way, right? And with that, unjustified egoism, like you think that will bring success, right? And then it doesn't, and you lose momentum and support, and it will be actually failure, probably, most likely, if you
Yeah. So again, just speaking to, the expectations that are a part of this particular trait and keeping those expectations in check, right? Again, surrendering to the experience, right? Just like what Natalie's saying, without those high expectations.
Yeah, and it's actually funny because, we say growth comes through change and not, and I'm really about that as well, like doing something different or whatever. And here, the elevation, the success is actually staying back with what has brought success, right? So this is also a circuitry of learning from the past, and then what it does is building kind of onto what brought success, right, in the next cycle. That's
right.
Kind of what it does. So it is not so much about making it new and relevant to fake it until you make it, but I'd love to hear from Chris, as you have the format, and I don't know in what trade it is.
I have it in 4, it looks like. That makes sense to me, and it's interesting because there are times where I wish I had it in the 3 in the elevation. That's great. Because there's something about how I just forget, oh, that's right, I did this before and that worked or that didn't work. It's almost like I got to do it several times before it really lands. So yeah, and maybe that's I don't know what it is, but
I would love to just add to that.
Yes, please.
What I see is the difference between having an undefined identity and direction and a defined.
Yeah.
My husband has it defined. He knows his identity. He has identified with a farmer because that is just built right into his DNA. That is who he is. And he has stayed the course of that. And serendipity, whatever you want to call it, good fortune, it's all happening for him. But for you, having it undefined, you're not designed to get locked into an identity. So yes, there may be success there, but success, the trail of success is going to happen through different things in your life. So maybe it's art, maybe it's coaching, maybe it's therapy, right? So, that's how I can see that those two differences kind of play out, where it's defined or not.
That's so funny. I was talking to someone the other day about this. I said, I have done so many things in my life. Nobody knows any, I have a TED Talk. I coach people I wrote a book. I've done all these things. And then once I'm done with the experience, I'm like, hey, I'm done. I don't go back and talk about it all the time. I'm like, yeah, I did that, whatever. I'm moving on. What's the next experience? And I don't identify with any one of those things in such a way that it becomes my identity. And so thank you for saying that, Leanne, because it totally makes sense. I'm just having the experiences. I'm not like, there's nothing consistent there about, you know, there's other things that are consistent, but not in that way. So no wonder I can't remember. No wonder I'm like, I don't know. Just whatever. The next thing my sacral says, to, there we go. Let's go.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think this is really important. You know, as we're going through this, we're talking about the specific trait. We're talking about it in the context of, you know, the frequency, the background frequency that's there for today, sort of as a weather report. But taking this a step further, you know, taking a look at where does this and how does this show up in your own career design, right? Is it, do you have trait 46 defined, or is it not defined? Do you have it white? Right. And, you know, regardless, we both have it in everybody has it within their design. It's just, is it reliable? Is it consistent? Do you have it defined? Is it part of a strength? Is it part of a defined function or not? Right. These are all things that we cover and we take a look at, you know, through the foundation courses and the certification courses. But, you know, these BG5 lives are a great way to just kind of get a little sense of each one of these traits and how they affect you personally or how you experience them personally. Just like what Leanne was talking about with the difference between her husband, you know, having identity and direction defined versus Chris that has it undefined, right? They still have that trait, but they operate in two very, very different ways. Yeah. Thank you for that.
It's a shame that Rob is not able to make it because he has it 2 times in a defined identity and direction as well. So yeah. Anyway,
Maybe he's getting lucky somewhere else.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Serendipity made him not to be here. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, he's having trouble on his computer. Yeah.
I'm all garbled up. I can't hear you. I want to
Driving through a tunnel. Oh no, that's not the phrase.
He's doing something. Oh, never mind. I won't even say it.
Well, Linda is asking, so Tanya says, okay, folks, now you're sounding like last week.
Ever we missed something?
I think so.
Don't tell Karen. Don't tell Karen.
Ixnay on the Asked Weekly. No, just kidding. It's all good. It's all good.
So Linda was asking, in relation to what Leanne was saying about identity and direction, would you say that this plays into not having a niche or a niche, as your identity and direction are often changing? It sounds like Leanne's husband has a niche, while Chris is possibly shifting many times.
You know, I would say it's more like, I don't know if I would put the word niche in there. I think I would be using it in a slightly different way. He is clear, Leanne's husband is clear about who he is and what he's here to do. Whereas I'm exploring that. But my niche and who I'm working with is a little bit different conversation. So that's how I would answer that question. Yeah.
I think, it's using, I would agree with what Chris just said.
Because to me,
good question.
Yeah.
Niche is more about who are you serving.
Right.
Where identity is who are you being.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
good distinction,
kind of
Leanne.
You know.
Yeah, and in our Profit Potential Coaching certification, you can learn all about your niche.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
By
Perfect.
design. So
exactly.
It has multiple aspects, yeah.
Great. So who do we have as our celebrity.
I'm wondering, I couldn't really find anyone. And so I got one that I know well, but I don't know if you American folks know Romy Schneider.
Well, do you want to share this one?
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to my youth because she's really famous, and that's this picture. She's young here, but this was her first breakthrough internationally in the trilogy Sisi, and it's the empress in Austria in former times, and we used to watch this with my sister and my mother because she has the most beautiful dresses, like she's just like it's a true princess, and in every episode I don't remember anything about the storyline because I was really young, but it is like this fairy tale, and actually she did more of those kind of roles later on in her life, like queens and whatever. So anyway, but yeah, do you know her? You don't?
No, but from what you're saying, her life work theme is love, right? You're fully embodied, fully alive in your body, and enjoy the physical sensation, the dynamic of relationships, dedicated to living life for life's sake. And just with this picture here and what you described, it really you get a sense and a feel for that.
Yeah, and I added this little nugget. I didn't know this, but she was on the cover of a German magazine, Stern. It's a very famous magazine, with other famous women. On an article, we have had abortions was like on the front page, and there were 28 notable women on the front, and 348 women in the article, right, talking about this. That was illegal at the time, and it's about the body and abortion around. That's truly something, about body. So
wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, as and thinking about it, for many women that would be the love of their body going, I'm not, this is not correct for me. This is not correct for me to have this child, and so it could be interpreted that way, opening a can of worms there a little bit, but
yeah,
it's really, it's interesting how that,
and in her times, right, and
right.
she's very self-empowered or empowered, right, so a lot of empowering energy, individual energy. Anyway,
Three
they're
strikes.
remarkable, loving people, those that have the life work of love, and the interesting thing of the life theme of love, the 46, 25, and 15 and 10 are all the love traits in this identity and direction, and love, identity and direction, right? And the other for more of the direction trait. So this is quite a special one.
Yeah.
Special one.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're very lovable people.
That's awesome.
Wow. Thank you for that, Natalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for putting together the presentations. It's still a little difficult for me to navigate around things. So
And I actually, while talking, I was like, bummer! I should have added a slide because Leanne is having a free webinar tomorrow, but we don't have it in a slide.
Oh, yes.
So we will post in the Facebook Live the link to the registration page as well. If you watch the clip and so there's where you can find it. And for those of you that received the newsletter that was sent out yesterday is about this to sign up for tomorrow. So maybe you can share a little bit, Leanne, what you are going to be talking about tomorrow.
So in tomorrow's webinar, I am going to chat about the power of our career designs. Yeah, so I'm going to touch on that. We're going to touch on what times we are in right now, which we all know 2020 has been probably one of the most interesting times we have ever lived in. And it'll be fun. So I would love to have people jump on board and come and play. And as an express builder, most likely I'm going to have time at the end to answer questions. So, you know, most likely going to happen.
Get her done.
Yeah.
Get through there.
Yep. And just so you know, Leanne is going to be teaching the next BG5 foundation course that is coming up. It's also an intensive course going right along with the Express Builder. So she is going to, it's 2 days a week. And so instead of completing the BG5 foundation course in 2 semesters, over 2 semesters, those 2 semesters are going to be jam-packed during the time that you would take 1 semester. So especially if you're an express builder or you take in information really quickly, or if you're still in lockdown and there's nothing to do, and this is a great way to spend your time really taking in the information, learning the information. Leanne's an incredible instructor, and so I invite you to check it out. You can also sign up for the first class free as well. So if you wanted to just kind of check out what the foundation course is all about and Leanne's style, again, attend the webinar tomorrow. We'll have replays available also, and check out her foundation course. So excited to.
Yeah.
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to say a little bit more about your class?
So basically, there'll be no time for grass to grow under your feet. Just so you know. And yeah, it's gonna be an intensive. We'll move through the information, and you'll have a foundation and be able to step into the BG5 certification with a solid foundation. I have 8 ones in my design, so that's what I deliver is a solid foundation.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Cool.
so if you've been possibly considering becoming a BG5 consultant, right, and you want to do it sooner rather than later, right, you can get the foundation course under your belt and start the certification course come January. So highly recommend that. All right, so let's wrap everything up. And what I would love to hear from each of you, just taking the trait 46 into consideration, what are some things to just be aware of, to pay attention to, things that we should, be conscious of over the next few days as we are here in trait 46? Do you want to start, Chris?
Yeah, sure. So I was thinking about this morning. Today is the fall equinox, and we're moving into the sign of Libra, which is about balance and the scales. So I was just kind of thinking about that myself this morning, and about how what can you do this week more consciously to bring the body into balance, to just we're moving from the light into the dark a little bit more. We're moving into fall. So where can you, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, for those of you in the South, you're moving into the light more for spring. But just where can you find more balance within your body by taking care of your physical body, regardless of whether you have trait 46 or not. This is always such a beautiful thing and beautiful practice. So allows you to come into alignment with your design even more when you are paying attention to your body as well as the mind and everything else. So
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Chris, for that.
Yeah.
How about for you, Natalie?
Don't have any expectations. Just let it all unfold, and the lesson will be there for you to learn at the end.
Yeah, beautifully said, Natalie. Thank you. How about for you, Leanne?
Just have fun with the awe and the surprise and the serendipity that's right there for us to just go like, wow. When we ask the universe, things just show up and go, wow, that's serendipity right there. Poof.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So play, don't have expectations, and take care of your body. You know, be present. Again, we're going to be moving into taking a look at the survival instinct, which is about the health and well-being of the body as well. So it kind of kicks us off into taking a look at that. You know, if we take a look at, as Chris said, moving into fall, you know, making sure that the body and everything else, you're a farmer, Leanne, is prepared for the winter, right? So it is a time to pay attention, and I, you know, and again, you know, you may need to heal. You may need to, you know, just pay attention to what your body is saying to you. You may need to rest, but it's going with the flow. It's allowing things to unfold, and allowing things to unfold without the expectation, as Leanne was saying, you know, opens the door to the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
For us here in the north, it's time for us to fatten up. And for those going into spring somewhere else, it's time for us to, you know, slim down, because really that's what we do. We fatten up in the winter, right? So we can make it through these cold winters. So
exactly.
And don't judge your body. Don't have any expectation. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, pack on a couple pounds. Don't do it by, you know, eating chips and pizza, but you could, I guess. Whatever. But, you know, it's the body. Watch it. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. And we will see you all next week. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.